So, hey, would y'all chill with the talking while I'm trying to teach you something? It's plucking my nose. Alright, I forgot. I didn't know. Alright, so the greatest common factor is what? 8. Bless you. Alright, so if you take out 8, what do you have left? 2. Beautiful. Wonderful. Alright, now we're going to play that game on Thursday and you're going to spin the wheel and it's going to bring up a random problem. What if it brings up a problem like number 2? You're going to group them, right? What do the first 2 have in common? Bella, you with me, dear? Bella. Number 2. What's the first one have in common? 3D. Very good. Which leaves you with t minus 7. Very good. You're going to bring out that minus sign.
And you get 5.
5.
Well, isn't it negative 5?
Yeah, we brought up a negative. Yep.
So then you do minus 7.
T minus 7. Yep.
Yeah, because you divide by negative 5. That's where I was confused. So if you bring out the negative sign, that's what you divide into the other number?
So it'd be negative 5 divided by negative 5. That's why it's a positive t. And then 35 divided by negative 5. That's why it's a negative 7.
Okay, because I got positive and I was like, that's not right. And then I couldn't remember if you divide by what you bring out.
Yep. Whatever you bring out, that's what you divide by. Alright, everybody okay so far?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Number 3. Number 3 is written backwards, right? Yes. And it's okay that it's written backwards because it has 3 terms. It has a quadratic term, it has a linear term, and it has a constant term. They don't have anything in common. So how do we work this?
Well, you have to find numbers that be negative 8.
There you go. So even though the 64 is in the front, it's still your constant. And what are the multiples of 64?
1 and 64.
Yeah.
2 and 32.
Yeah.
4 and 16.
Yeah.
And then 8.
And then 8. Very good. And you need that one that adds or subtracts to be negative 8.
That'd be
And
0.
0.
But if we do negative 8
8
plus 8.
It'd be negative 16.
Negative 8 minus
0. Oh, no, that'd be negative 16. Sorry, you said minus.
8. Right. That's how you calculate it.
There's not 4 and 16. I should have found.
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
I said none of them do.
There's 8 and
Uh-huh.
6.
So none of them do.
It's
So we don't call it possible. Prime. There you go.
Well, that was not really nice.
Yeah, I was trying to figure it out for a while. I was like, thinking it.
If we're positive 8, nope, because 8 and 4 and 16 would give you 12. No, you still couldn't do it if it was positive 8. So, alright, number 4 has 2 terms. They don't have anything in common.
No, it's a square.
They're both perfect squares. Very good. Alright, what's the square root of 25b squared?
5b.
Beautiful. And 361?
19.
And how do you get that negative sign?
Ooh, there's a positive one and a negative one.
Beautiful. Positive, negative, negative, positive. Doesn't matter the order.
Alright, and now you're going to teach us how to do that.
And now we're going to, no, I'm not going to teach you because you've already done it. Plus, I've already taught you it once. But I will go over it with you, yes. Alright, number 5.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I know better. I just like messing with you.
I
Alright,
you did.
number 5 has 3 terms, right?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have a GCF.
No,
Wait.
But why do I not work it like I did number 3?
because there's a number.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So, it has a number in the front. Now, there's an easy way and there's a hard way, okay? The cool thing about the hard way is once you get the hang of it and once you know how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide, you can do it in your head.
Yeah.
But I don't think most of you have learned that way, so we're going to do it the other way, which is easy to learn, but the bad thing about it is you can never do it in your head. That's the only bad thing about it, okay? So it's called slide, divide, bottoms up. So you slide the 3 to the back. What's 3 times 5? 15, which means there's no longer a 3 in the front. So now it's just like number 3. What are the factors of 15 that add or subtract to be negative 2? How? 5 minus, oh, that positive. Very good. -5 and +3. Okay, that's the slide part. That's not the answer.
Now you're gonna
Alright, now.
divide bottoms up.
Now you gotta divide, right? Because you can't just multiply this back here without doing the opposite of it. So the opposite of multiplication is now we're gonna divide by that 3. That's the slide, that's the divide. And the bottoms up comes right here. 3 divides 3 evenly, right? So that's easy. But this 5 does not divide this 3. That's where the bottom's up. The bottom number, 3, comes to the front. So it'd be 3p minus 5. And then 3 divides 3, so it'd be p plus 1. We did not learn that way. But we ain't had time to do anything else because we've been gone so many days with everything. So I don't really like this way because you can't do it in your head. But it is what it is.
I started it.
We did.
And
That's the way we did it, and that's, to me, it's easier because I can do it in my head real quick. But where you just do factors of 3, that one, and then you got to figure out where to put the 1 and 5 so that it gives you -2 in the middle. So if you, I like that way better, but we just don't have time to go back over that because it takes a little while to learn how to do. But anyway, all right, let's put our math workshop away real quick. Everybody needs a graphic calculator, and we need to go back to page 3 and number 3 from Friday so that we can finish up that one thing that we didn't have enough time to do at the bottom where it says x-intercepts. So page 3, number 3. Page 3, number 3. Everybody needs a graphic calculator.
yeah, we already did one.
We did, but we didn't do the x-intercept part.
Homework. 3, 4, and 5 were homework on page 2. But 1, 2, and 3 we did. Oh wait, no, we graphed those, didn't we?
Yes. But we did answer the rest of the questions. All right, here we go. So we're going to go to our calculator. We're going to go to y equals. Y'all okay so far? We're going to go to y equals. Huh? Just look at the calculator. Don't look at the rest of that stuff. All right, so what is it? 2x squared minus 6x minus 9. Was that right? Everybody okay so far? Got it plugged in? We're in y equals. We plugged it in?
Yes.
Everybody's got y equals plugged in? We do not have time for you to sit here and dilly-dally and not get things done. Alright, so then we hit graph. Alright, now Friday we did things the easy way. Friday we looked at that and we said, okay, our x-intercepts look like they're where? 4 and -1, right? And so to check our answer, where did we go to see if the answer was at 4 and -1? We went to our table, and when we find 4 and -1, what numbers should be with them if they are x-intercepts? Zeros. And look at -1 and look at 4. Do they have zeros? They do not have zeros. Everybody okay so far?
We have a question. Wait,
Yes.
why do we look at 1 and -4?
Because when we looked at our graph, that's what it looked like. It had our x-intercepts.
How do I make something actually see it?
The format.
I'm pushing the button. It's not moving.
Alright, here we go.
Mom, can I shoot yours?
That's fine. Okay, I need everybody up here. We're up here. You're in y equals,
I was trying to figure it.
second table, second graph, 4 and -1. 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 Alright, so when we looked at our graph, it looked like the x-intercepts were at negative 1 and 4, right? But they're not when we go to our table. So now we have to learn a new way. And we go to second calculate, second trace. We've done this before, right? When we went there before, what were we trying to find before? There you go. We were finding our vertex, our minimum or maximum, right? But we don't want to find our vertex this time. We want to find our x-intercepts, okay? Which is
5
zeros. One of them is to find your x-intercept, one of them is to find your y-intercept.
So 5 is y.
This one, intersect, this intersect. That's where they cross.
You know I can't.
Alright, so you're going to go down to 0. You're going to hit number 2. Everybody okay so far? I need stop with everything except for up here. Because you're going to get lost, and then I'm going to have to explain it 3 more times. Alright, now look. How many intercepts do you have? 2. So how many times are we going to have to do this?
2.
Twice, right? Okay, it says left bound. Guys, you're going to go on the left side of that first intersect. Or intercept, should I say. See where my cursor is? Because as that graph is going up, it's also going in which direction? Out to which way? To the left, right? So, that's on the left side. Hit enter. We are just dealing with that one intercept, guys. We are not dealing with both of them. So now what is it asking you to do? You're not going to the other intersect on the right side. You're going to the right side of that intercept, which is about right there. Do you see where my cursor is? You see it? Just to the right side of that one. Hit enter. It's like, hey, do you want me to guess between the 2? And you're like, uh-huh. I want you to guess between the 2. And looky there. It's really, 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 really close to what number? Negative 1, which is where we thought it was to begin with, right? Alright, now we're going to do it again, right? And this time when we do it, it's going to be really, really, really close to what number? 4, right? Okay, so hit second trace. Did y'all write that number down so we have it for later? Okay. Alright, we're going to go to 0, number 2. But now we're going to do it with the other intercept, right? So we're going to go over here. Keep hitting the button until it comes again because it's going to go down there and it'll come back in a second. Hold on, wait for it. Wait, there it is. Okay. So look at it. You see this little piece right here that we're dealing with? You're going to be on the left side of that. It looks like it's on the bottom, but it's really on the left side, right? Enter. Okay. And then we're going on the right side, which is right above it. Hit enter. And then it should be really, really close to 4. I got 4.098. Y'all okay? By the way, the reason I do 3 decimals when it gives you so many is because the AP test likes 3 decimals. So that's why we're doing 3. What's wrong?
So you need us to find the whole number or the actual decimal?
Right, the decimal because it's not a whole number. I'm sorry, I can't see what you're doing. say 2e
minus 12.
right? Says that. So if you do not have your own calculator, you may get this calculator that does this, and it's okay. This means 2 times 10 to the negative 12, right? This means 0.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's really close to what number?
What? I mean 0.
0. Now, do you remember when I was such a stickler about using 1/3 instead of decimals that do not terminate like 0.3333? Remember when I was such a stickler about that? This is why. Because you won't get an exact answer. Where you're supposed to get 0, your calculator is giving you an approximate answer. Does that make sense? That's but now if you use the fraction like you're supposed to with the 1/3, it's nothing you did wrong. But this is why I want you to use the 1/3, because you would get exactly 0 instead of using a decimal like this, which is what your calculator is using, where you'll get this answer, which is craziness. That's why I'm such a stickler about using fractions. Does that make sense?
Okay, so
It's 0. The answer is 0. It means 0. It just means that it's really, really close to 0. Okay, so where are we at? We're on our notes.
we're on.
And we got that this was 4.098. And what was the other one? Y'all okay? Yes, ma'am.
I'm still stuck on my calculator.
Okay. Alright, so why did we use 3 decimals again?
People like that.
AP. AP. Hey, no, it's not, because ACT is just A, B, C, or D. It's not the same thing. Alright. Calculus. Go to page 4. Go to page 4.
The left side of your x-intercept. The same intercept. With the right side. The same way. That's good.
Yes.
Now you begin to do yellow.
Alright. Where we at? Page 4? Alright, here we go. We gotta hustle. We do not have time. Here we go. The very top. We're on page 4. At the very top. Okay, blank equations are quadratic functions that are set equal to a value. What kind of equations are those? Quadratic equations. There you go. Very top blank. Quadratic equations. Very top blank on page 4. Alright, what about the second one? The blank form of a quadratic equation is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Huh? No. Standard. Very good. Standard form. Standard form. Very good. Standard form. Alright, now this last definition is extremely important, okay? Because this is the question that it will ask you. The solutions of a quadratic equation are called 2 things, and what we call them. So this is the way it'll ask you. It'll either ask you, they're called the roots, or they're called the zeros. So they're either called roots, or they're called zeros. Roots or zeros. Yes, ma'am. Huh? You're on the back of page 3? It's not?
Is 0 still like 0?
On the back of page 3 just
DS, right? 0 is S or is it ES? It's DS. Is 0 like multiple zeros? Is it?
It's just S because it's got an O in it.
What the heck did he do?
Zeros.
Those are not real.
Then what about heroes? Heroes is spelled
Okay, that is true. The zeros is just with an S in it. Okay. Alright, so it's either called a root or it's called a zero, right? Everybody good with that? Alright, so here's how the question will ask you. It will ask you, what are the roots of the equation? Or it will say, what are the zeros of the equation? They mean the same thing. Does that make sense to everybody? All right, look at the 3 examples right here at the bottom, at the middle. One real solution. Why does it say one real solution? Because it only hits the x-axis at one point, right? Notice that it says one real and not just one solution. Okay? All right, what about the next one? 2 real solutions. It's at 2 points, right? And then the last one, what does it say? No real solution. Remember how I told you that you didn't know how to take square roots of negative numbers yet? It's coming real quick. It's coming. Okay? All right, so let's look at the bottom. Down here, number 1, 2, and 3. It says use those graphs to determine the number of solutions. So number 1 has how many solutions? No real solutions. Don't just put none. Don't just put no. Don't put no solution. It's no real solution. There you go. Number 1.
So that's why you calculate for x is 0.
Yep. That's why when on number, what was it, number 3, that we couldn't factor it and we said prime. Because if you were to graph it, it would look like that. It doesn't hit the x-axis. Hence the reason why we don't have an x value. All right, what about number 2?
2 real solutions.
2 real solutions, perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's fine. All right, and number 3, last one. 1 real solution. Very good, very good. All right, notice that the directions change on 1 through 7. Okay, we're going to do 1 through 7. We're going to do 1 together because it's very easy. And then while you do 2 through 7, I'm going to check checkpoints. Okay? All right, so look at what it says. It doesn't say solve. It says solve how? By graphing, right? You got your graphing calculator ready to go? All right, so in Algebra 1 and in Geometry, these same questions were given to you, but they said just solve. So you had to set it equal to what number? 0. And then you had to factor it, right? And then you had to figure out what x was. Now we're going to use our graphing calculator. And we're going to plug in x squared minus 8x plus 12 is equal to 0. It has to be set equal to 0 first. Then you can grab your graphing calculator and hope that this works out nice and pretty so that we don't have to do all the craziness that we just did. What was it? Minus 8x plus 12? Is that what it was? Okay. We're going to go to y equals and plug it in. And we're going to hope that we have some good numbers. So we get graph. And where does it look like our 2 solutions? It's a 2 solution, but where? Because it didn't say to tell me what kind of solutions. It said solve. So to be able to determine if 2 and 6 really are our solutions, we go to table, and what should be with the numbers 2 and 6? 0. So graphing is another way to do what?
Solve.
Solve, yeah. But how do you solve it in Algebra 1? What do you have to do? Quadratic formula, and what else have we been doing for a month on Math Workshop? Factoring. So,
It's pretty much just as a value.
yes. Except for...
You just write 2 and 6.
What the heck do you have?
You just write 2.
Yep. All right, let's talk about how to write your answer. So, there are a few different ways that I can write my answer. I could write 2, 6, as long as I don't use what around them. Because if you write parentheses around it, it means that it's an order pair, and it is not an order pair. You're saying that your answer is 2 and 6. If you were to factor it...
1 and 3.
1 and 3.
Look what he's talking about.
He's simplifying.
Okay, look. What are the factors of 12 that add or subtract to be 8?
6 and 2.
6 and 2.
Or negative 6 and
And they're both negative, right?
alright.
Okay, and because it is equal to 0, you split it down the middle, right? And so you know that x equals 2, which we got, and x equals 6, which we got. It's the same thing that you did before in Algebra 1. Does that make sense to everybody? All right. Yes, it is easier, but sometimes, trust me, it is easier to factor or use quadratic formula, like Ms. Renella was trying to tell you the other day. All right? Which we are getting to. We are getting to. Ma'am?
Why is it plus 12 instead of minus 12?
Because we had to move the 12 over, so it's equal to 0. All right. How else could you write your answer besides 2, 6?
2 and
2 and 6. And how else could you write it besides 2 comma 6 and 2 and 6?
X equals 2 and 6 equals X.
Well, yeah, I didn't think about that. You could write x equals 2 and x equals 6.
You could do 2 dash 6.
Oh, too bad.
No, like 2 like the dash. Yeah.
Just drop it.
Like the diagonal line.
2 comma 0 or 6 comma 0.
Ah.
Right? So, okay? Alright, here's what we're going to do. That's the answer for number 1, 2 and 6. We are going to work 2 through 7. All 6 problems, okay? Some of them are going to turn out really nice and pretty like this one, where you just look at your table. Some of them are not going to be so nice and pretty, so you're going to have to go where?
Calculate.
Second, trace. Second, calculate, whatever you want to call it, okay? If you want to work with a partner, you can. Here's what we're going to do. You're going to work 2 through 7, and then you are going to go by rows when you hear your name, and grab your checkpoint and bring it up and let me check it. Some of us need to check that x-intercept, right, because we had to do our calculator. So if you need to go grab your checkpoint, I would go do that quickly. You need to go grab your checkpoint, so do it quickly. And then I'll call you by rows and I'll check them, okay?
What's up, bro?
Hold up, what if it's this? What if it's no?
Or just write Sure.
If you have like a way of weighing it out, you can do it. You're amazing. I'll get it.
Alright. So before we leave, let's talk about 2 things. So you're getting your checkpoint, right?
Yes.
Get our checkpoint, and we are fixing that x-intercept problem on number 2 if we need to. And we are realizing that we have a quiz tomorrow on this stuff. And then finally, we have our second homework of the quarter. It is kind of a lengthy homework, so that's why it will not be due until Friday. However, that homework is an extremely good study guide for your quiz, because it is exactly what will be on your quiz, is what the homework is on. So, I probably wouldn't wait until the last minute to do the homework, right?
Wait, okay, so I got the trace, and then how about
What here? What?
Oh, I thought they had to come to the thing. The exercise. You just saw that like in the guides and you
What the heck?
It says left side.
She's gonna call you back on the I just walked up there.
Because you didn't do it until
Alright. When I call you, bring me your checkpoint. Alright, Clay and Thomas, bring me your checkpoint.
Gotta go.
Give a chance to finish the last one. Okay, vertex is an order pairs and how, vertex is an order pairs and how it should be written. Your extension, right, so.
I'm not even seeing it. No, I haven't. Maybe so.
But you know, if I get seriously into the order pairs, I know what it is.
Did I say Mrs.
Hammond Road. Hopefully you wrote it right. No. Yes.
Well, that's just what you wrote in your paper.
Yeah, for number 7, I think, or we would do the same thing we did on our bell ringer. Cause it's, 2x squared minus 3x. What do you mean? Never mind. Well, not fast. Yeah, just, yeah, never mind.
Miss Blackman,
Yes, ma'am?
is all these people's in class?
Yes, ma'am?
Did she go to, did she go to Miss, Knighton's class?
No, she said she didn't.
Just didn't go.
Were you somewhere or
Yeah, I was in the band room doing stuff.
you didn't have pass to get there? Yeah, she said she went to the band room, but she said that she didn't check in with her, she just went to the band room.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Alright, okay, so this is number
5. Anybody else from Hammond Road? Alright, Everell's Road? Everell's Road, nobody? Want to bring a checkpoint? I know. Abby, do you have your checkpoint voted?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Katie, do you have yours voted?
It's up there.
It's up where?
Right there.
Okay, check that right
Unless you take them all off.
I do you have your check pointer?
Yes, ma'am.
Here. Danielle and Abby.
Would you still call this B or would you call this C? Because you know how this goes.
Oh, I have to do extra analyze? Yeah.
You write it as an order pair, you write and order pair. Thank you, honey.
Do we turn our touch back in?
Yes, I need your touch turned back in before you leave.
You can see my bullet. So sorry,
Adrian?
Okay, cool. Oh, neat.
Sometimes at practice, I don't even but then I do work. That's good. That's good.
I just don't.
No, I always work. Sometimes I just don't work.
I figured she wouldn't take long anyway. She
It was the practice.
She
The workout
does,
is
always
like
late.
practice.
I just didn't want to be in the class.
For real.
Oh, I have to work
Kind of hair.
workouts. I feel like
And I didn't want to go through the stress of just sitting in a class and doing nothing when I could be doing something productive.
I mean, it's live. Bye, guys. Tomorrow. You're lying. Friday. Do you want us to just tell me that? Yeah, put them in the tray, but I didn't check them yet, and I'll check them tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right. What? Number 2 was like what? No solution. Is that right? And then number 3. What'd y'all get for 3? Huh? -4, that sounds right. Then number 4? That one. Yeah. What'd you get as your decimal? Do you remember?